Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Your Excellency, K. Haji Muhammad Hasan Mutawakil Allah, as the Director of Zainul Hasan Boarding School, Your Excellency, Dr. Abdul Aziz MAG, as the Rector of Zainul Hasan University, Honorable Mr. Ferry Ferdianto MPD, as my first supervisor, Honorable Miss Raudatul Islam MPD, as my second supervisor, Honorable my beloved parents who always support me while do my thesis proposal. My name is Ma'rufatul Ayudu Nurlita. I'm the student of English Education Department of Zainul Hasan Islamic University. Here, I will present my thesis proposal with the title, The Impact of English Conversation Videos on Improving Student Speaking Skill. For the next slide is Table of Contents. For the Table of Content, there are 3 chapters that I will present. First, Introduction. Second is the review of related literature. And the last is the research method. The first topic is in introduction is background of the study. Learning English plays a crucial role in education, especially as it serves as an international language facilitating cross-cultural communication in the globalized era. Among the 4 language skills, speaking is a primarily focus because it is the main medium for verbal communication. Lander and Brown highlights that speaking is a complex skill, requiring the ability to organize ideas, select appropriate vocabulary, and apply correct grammar in real time. But however, there are some difficulties in learning speaking. Many students, particularly in non-English speaking countries, struggled with a lack of confidence and practice opportunities. Ferdianto and Holili state that students think that learning English process is not interesting. To overcome these challenges, it is crucial to explore alternative teaching methods such as using English conversation videos. Videos material can provide a more engaging and more interactive experience that encourage students to actively participate in speaking activities. The next is the statement of the problem. The statement of the problem of this study is there a significant improvement in students speaking fluency after being taught using English conversation videos? And the next is the objectives of this study. The objectives of this study is to measure the statistical significance of the impact of English conversation videos on junior high school students speaking fluency. The last topic in the chapter 1 is previous study. There are some previous study that related to this study. For example, Nurlita et al. Conducted a classroom action research study involving 38 grade students at MTS Al-Falah Panda. The study aimed to improve students' English speaking skills through the use of short videos. Also, while focusing on listening skill, Sutrisno conducted a quantitative study to assess the effectiveness of English conversation videos in teaching listening. Based on the previous study, there remain a research gap in understanding the specific impact of English conversation videos on junior high school on student speaking skill. While previous studies have generally demonstrated the benefits of video-based learning for improving speaking proficiency, but most of them investigate focus on the general video materials. The next slide is topics from chapter 2. First, theoretical framework. There are 2 theories that I will explain here. Number 1 is multimedia theory. Many experts contributed to theories and frameworks that support the use of multimedia, including videos in language learning. Here are one of the relevant perspectives. First, multimedia learning theory by Richard A. Mayer. Richard A. Mayer's cognitive theory of multimedia learning provides a comprehensive framework for understanding how individuals process and retain information when learning through multimedia formats. This theory is particularly relevant in educational contexts where digital media, such as instructional videos, are used to enhance learning outcomes. Number 2 is speaking theory. Delheim's introduced communicative competence theory, which extends beyond linguistic knowledge to include the ability to use language effectively in various social contexts. Next is review of related literature. The integration of multimedia resources particularly videos, into language instruction has been extensively explored in recent years. A study by Din T. Hong Tui explored the use of YouTube videos to enhance speaking skills among 7th grade students. The study also identified factors influencing these improvements, such as increasing students' engagement and motivation. Additionally, Syed et al. Examined the effectiveness of using YouTube videos in teaching speaking skills among EFL students in Jordan. The result indicated that YouTube videos significantly improve students' speaking skill. Last topic in chapter 2 is hypothesis of the study. Based on the research question and theoretical framework, the hypotheses of this study are formulated as follows. Number 1 is null hypothesis. If there is no significant differences in students' speaking skills before and after being exposed to English conversation videos. And then the second is alternative hypothesis. If there is a significant differences in student speaking skills before and after being exposed to English conversation videos, and the criteria of hypothesis testing are HO is accepted if the significant value is greater than alpha, 0.05. HA is accepted if the significance value is less than alpha, 0.05. Next slide is chapter 3. The first topic is research method. This study employs a quantitative research method, a experimental design with a one-group pretest and post-test approach is utilized. This study has two variables. The independent variable is English conversation videos, while the dependent variable is student speaking skill. The population of this study consists of all 7th grade students as SMP Negeri 1 Gending. From this population, a sample of one class, class 7B, was selected to participate in this research. This class comprised 32 students. Next topic is research instrument. There are pretest and post-test. The pretest involves each of the 30 students in the class reading a conversation individually, then a post-test is administered using oral test design 2. And the number 2 is speaking assessment rubric. The criteria is fluency and pronunciation, and both of them is scored from 1 to 15. Then the next is data collection. At the beginning of the study, a pretest is conducted using oral test design. Following the pretest, the students undergo a structural instructional period where they are taught using English conversation videos for 3 meetings. Then the last meeting is giving post-test using oral test design 2. Next is validity and reliability of the instrument. To enhance the validity and reliability of the research, several measures are implemented. The first is content validity, is using the pretest and post-test ensuring they accurately measure speaking proficiency. And then the second is construct validity, is to ensure that the test assess the intended speaking components. And then the reliability measures is using a pilot test is conducted before the actual study to assess the reliability of the test items. Then the last topic is data collection. The scores from the pretest and post-test are recorded and organized in the dataset for statistical analysis. Number 1 is statistical analysis using descriptive statistic to get the mean, standard deviation, and percentage improvements. And then paired sample t-test. A paired sample t-test is conducted to compare the pretest and post-test scores. And then effect size to measure the strength of the impact of the intervention. The second is interpretation of result. If the post-test scores are significantly higher than the pretest scores, it suggests that using English conversation videos effectively improves speaking skills. The results are analyzed to determine which specific areas showed the most improvement. All statistical analysis will be conducted using appropriate software, IBM SPSS, and the result will be interpreted to determine the impact of using English conversation videos in enhancing student speaking skills. So I think that's all for my presentation. I apologize if there is any mistakes that I made. Thank you for your attention. The last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.